this is my 15.2 physiological responses. So the first one are strains, so they are muscles or tendons. So the first one is a grade 1, which is a pull, and that is when there is less than 10% of muscle fibre damage done. You would still be able to play if you had a pull. It probably won't affect you that much. It might mean that you just can't reach your full ability as normal, but you could probably play at least 90% of your full ability. Tear, which is a grade 2, which is between 10 to 15% of muscle fibre damage. You would probably be able to kind of hobble off the pitch or off the court or something, but you wouldn't be able to play anymore. It would be very painful, maybe a bit of swelling, probably take many months to heal. And then finally got grade 3, which is a rupture or a rip, which is when there's 50 to 100% of muscle fibre damage. You would be in a lot of pain, a lot of swelling, would not be able to move at all, and it'd probably take at least 1 to 2 years to recover as fully as you can. You then got sprains, which are your ligaments and joints. So the grade 1 is overstretched, which is when you can still play, just a bit painful. So it's maybe when you fall down a rabbit hole, twist your ankle slightly, that kind of pain where it's kind of the first off shock, but then it kind of wears off and you can still play. You've then got a tear, which is a grade 2, which is very painful, got swelling. Again, probably can't play on as it will be too painful and could risk further damage. And the first one is a rupture, again, not a rip, a rupture, which is grade 3, and you won't be able to do anything. You won't have any strength or mobility. And same for the strains as well. Rupture, no mobility whatsoever, no strength, have to build that up. Pull, you would have most of your strength and probably less strength but more mobility. And the tear, you would have not much of it each. And for the overstretch, you would have again a slight amount of both, and you'd be pretty much normal. Tear, probably have little strength and little mobility, and rupture rip, you've got no strength and no mobility. So hematomas. So hematoma refers to a solid swelling of clotted blood within the tissues caused by a collection of blood outside the blood vessels. This occurs when there is an injury to the wall of the blood vessels, which prompt the blood to seep out of the blood vessels into the surrounding tissues. So there's 2 types of hematomas. There's intrahematoma, which is when bleeding moves to the surrounding muscle tissues. So an example of this is a really heavy tackle in rugby, and you fall badly on one side of your leg and get bruising all the way up your back or up your leg, as kind of shown in the image. You've got then interhematomas, which is when the bleeding stays contained, and so it's usually caused by a light fall or getting hit lightly. So, well, I say lightly, it will hurt, but it's not a really heavy impact. So, for example, getting hit by a cricket ball in the leg, normally it would just leave a really round, like cricket ball mark, bruise. So next one, blood clotting mechanisms. There are 4 different stages. So the first stages are the platelets, and they will act as a plug by sticking to each other and then sticking to the hole in which the cut is formed. The whole of the blood vessel. However, it isn't strong enough on its own, and passing blood could wash this away if it's just on its own. So this is when the clotting factors come in, which help to reinforce the platelets. You then have fibrin, which is a web of fibrous tissue, which acts as a glue and then holds the platelets and the other clotting factors together to make the clot. And then the other cells are just there to support the clot, and it pulls the edges of the hole together. The clot then stays there until the tissue repairs itself, and then the body will dissolve this clot by itself. So you then got the 3 stages of healing. So inflammation is the first on the graph, that one, and regeneration second, and remodelling third. So stage 1 is inflammation, and this happens during the first 24 to 72 hours. This is when there is a lot of swelling and quite a lot of muscle spasms, not really in control of what happens in this stage. However, many people use painkillers and ice to immobilise the painful area, as they think it may help. but it normally just kind of numbs the injury that's there. It won't like make it any better really. Well, the pain might, the ice pack and the ice might reduce the inflammation slightly. And gentle manual therapy during this stage will reduce the pain, swelling, spasms, and makes the risk of developing scar tissue decrease. And the second stage is regeneration, which typically lasts 6 to 8 weeks. The body, during this time, the body lays down new tissues within the injured area and repairs nerve connections to the damaged area. This may be the time, if scar tissue forms, this will be the time where it does form. And physical therapy in this stage can help to accelerate the repair and the strengthening of the damaged tissue. It can prevent excessive scar tissue build-up, which can lead to reoccurring injuries. So you still get a slight bit of scar tissue, however, this will help reduce that. It will decrease pain, which is done by increasing the delivery of nutrients and oxygen to the injured area, and it will also increase the range of motion. Stage 3 is the remodelling phase, and this is it's a complete restoration of healthy function to the injured area. So this usually takes 3 to 12 months or even longer in some very serious cases. And during this stage, many people will believe that just because there's no pain in the area anymore, it means they're fully healed and then can go back, which will cause reoccurring injuries. So it means that just because there is no pain doesn't mean that the injury is fully healed at all, as the connective tissue will heal over time. Physical therapy during this time will help to thicken the damaged tissue, which prevents a recurring injury, and it helps again reduce the scar tissue build-up and it helps to restore the full elasticity and flexibility of muscles and joints, and also helps to maintain range of motion. So the next one is, these are the strategies to recover. So you've got stress and relaxation, which are techniques used to express and release emotions. So like stress, so you can get like stress balls, boxing, wrist grips, anything like that, which can help to like, I guess like motivate you, so it calms you down, and then motivates you to do your rehabilitation and get back to your sport that you love. It also, like the relaxed side, it helps you to focus more, so for like meditation and like pets, so if you've got any pets, stroking them can help to relax, which then can stop your mind from wandering and like getting off topic. So you could be like, oh, I'm never going to get better, whereas with this it helps you to focus on the positives. And exercise and music go well to stress and relaxation, apart from if you're recovering, obviously you can't do the exercise bit. So that leads us on to the music, which helps us to relax and gets us in like the correct mindset for doing things if you listen to the right kind of music. For example, though, if you're looking to do exercise and then you're listening to really like chilled out music and all that, this may not motivate you. It will motivate you more if you're listening to songs with a good beat. And it will helps motivate you. And also, like, you could make special playlists for your different moods. So if you're, say, feeling a bit sad, have a playlist that will cheer you up. And also for rehab, you can have a special playlist, so it kind of gets you in the right mindset for it. So you know that when this playlist comes on, then you need to focus on that. Keeping a diary. This allows you to look back at your progress. It also allows you to like express your feelings without having to talk to any person in particular. It's also, because you can look back at your progress, it's motivating to like see the journey you've come on and to see what you've been through and like how far you've actually come, because it's quite easy to think, oh, I haven't actually come that far. But if you look back at it, you can actually see how far you've come. You can also use it as goal setting, so you can set your short, medium and long term targets and write them all in so they're all set. And also you can use like a to-do list, so you can be like, oh, today I need to make sure I do some mindfulness or something like that. So imagery, this leads to like a positive mindset. If you imagine like positive thoughts, and yeah, having positive thoughts also outweighs the negative. So if you imagine yourself having negative thoughts, then you'll probably end up doing those negative things and feeling that negative way. Whereas if you have positive thoughts, then you'll be positive. It also helps, like, keeps your mind on a competition. So if you're ready for a competition and so say even if it's in 2 years' time or something, if you imagine yourself being there at full recovery, really ready to go, then that can like help you to play through the scenarios and preparing you for that occasion. Because it, like, the imagery sends neurological pathway signals. So stay involved. This helps you to not feel isolated, and especially like during rehab, you can take on additional roles. So you can go and sit with your team still, but analyse them or help coach, or even like keep on social media, keeping in track with everything that's going on to help you. You could observe matches and training, and also just being in like the dressing room and the team talks, going through the tactics and all of that. It helps to keep your mind focused and get you ready to do this. It gives you a bit of like routine and consistency in your kind of life that's now been turned upside down almost.